Welcome to another video review here at Optics. As you can probably see, today I'm going to talk about the new thermal scope from Pulsar called the Axion XM30S. At the end of the video I will also explain what is the difference between all the Axions and especially between the Axion XM30 and now the new model XM30S. As you probably know, Pulsar introduced this series of thermal imaging scopes or thermal imaging monoculars at EVA in 2019, so 1 year ago in March. And at the launch there were three models. It was the XM30, XM38 and Key XM30. There was a lot of confusion between the Key domination and the other two, so the XM30 and XM38, and a lot of confusion what the names really mean. So what you have to remember is that the key means that it has only the key functions. So no Wi-Fi, no capability to connect the device with a smartphone or taking photos and so on. So only the key features. If I would have any rule in Pulsar, I would definitely do the names differently. But we do have to say that they have their system, and once you know all the letters, what they mean and so on, and all the acronyms, it's a little bit easier to understand. What then happened that at the end of 2019 they already discontinued the XM30 and XM38, and the reason for it was the lack of sensors which an external supplier supplies to Pulsar. So only the Key model was left, XM30 Key, and what also came to the market in the middle of the year was the XM22 Key. We have a separate review on it. It's the smallest and the most affordable Axion, and also the smallest and the most affordable thermal camera made by Pulsar. So here now in the beginning of 2020, this Axion XM30S came to the market, which is really similar to the previous XM30 model. All of these models, the Axion series was a successor of a very successful Quantum series, which basically took over the market in the last 10 years. And with the Axions there was a lot of upgrades if we compare them to the Quantums and the Quantum Lights, which were the last models of the Quantum series. So as you can see, the body of this device is made out of magnesium. It's very light and it's really well made. Also ergonomically and from the design point of view, these are the most beautiful and, at least to the touch and feel, the highest quality of all the devices that Pulsar produces, and also, to be honest, from all the devices on the market, since majority of thermal imaging scopes, they're made out of rubber, plastic and so on. They don't have this high quality feel than the Axions do. They're completely sealed and environmental protected. So the standard is IPX7, so fully waterproof. And this device works all the way down to minus 25 degrees Celsius, and normally on the other side plus 40. The size is approximately 14 centimeters in length, around 7 centimeters in height, and around 4 centimeters in width. So really compact. On the first look, when we first saw these devices, a lot of people asked if this is a laser rangefinder, not if it's a thermal scope. This Axion line is powered by the APS-3 batteries, and I think this is one of the unique selling points of these devices, since the batteries are interchangeable. You just put the battery in, like this. Now you're able to use it for at least 5 hours or even more. Then you push this button, and the battery slides out, and you can use the other battery immediately. So this is the common problem with thermal cameras, that you ran out of battery in the middle of the use, and then there is no way to solve that problem. You have to use the external power bank or something like that, but with an Axion you're able to replace the battery with a fully charged one in seconds. And the batteries, which are also produced by Pulsar, are very, very affordable. A battery like this costs roughly around 50 euros. So you can buy a couple of them and they are not expensive, and then you're able to use your device as much as possible without any interruptions. With this device you also get the charger for the batteries, for the two batteries, so they already thought about this, that most of the users will have at least two batteries from the start. With the small key models you don't get the battery charger, so you need to charge the battery inside of the device. The weight of the device is roughly 250 grams, so it can fit in any pocket. It's really, really small and really light. And you can also see you can change the position of the strap either from the left side to the right side, so it's really easy to use with left hand or with right hand. Something what also a lot of other devices lack. Also the Helions. To be honest, to use the Helion with the left hand is not as comfortable as using it with the right hand, even though, honestly speaking, it's not a big issue. What's also interesting with this device is that this was probably the first device Pulsar made that has an instant startup, so it has a startup time of less than 1 second, and even it has an external LED indicator when it's turned on. This is also something what Helions, the other series of Pulsar thermal imaging scopes, lack. So the LED indicator if the device is on or not, it's really, really important. And the LED is really dim, so you're only able to see it, but no animals or anyone else will see it, because it's really, really, really dim. Since you see that all the markings are in blue color and the power button is blue color, that means that this device is compatible with Stream Vision application, and it can be connected to a smartphone via Wi-Fi. And this is the main difference compared to the key devices. Together with the device you get a carrying bag, the charger, the battery, the manual, or a quick start guide as they call it, the warranty. The warranty is 3 years. Also after those 3 years they are still promising to have parts to do all the maintenance work on service even for the next, I would say, 5 years or something like that. You do have to know that the development moves quickly, so 10 years from now we will see if they will still have parts, but still I would say for the next 5 years or something like that you're safely covered. And the service is inside of EU, so it's in Lithuania. Even though the Pulsar company itself is from Belarus. Okay, I think we can go to the sensor. The sensor, it's a normal XM sensor, 320 by 240 pixels, and the pixel size is 12 microns. So it has really the smallest pixel among all the devices on the market. The only exception to this rule at the moment, I think, is the FLIR bridge, which is not really sold that often. And this small pixel size gives you really a lot of details. So the optical performance is, I would say, almost unrivaled in this class, especially when we take into the consideration the price, 1,690 euros. The refresh rate is 50 Hz, like expected now, and you have the 3 calibration modes, manual, semi-automatic and automatic. That means that every couple of seconds, I would say 30 seconds or 1 minute, the image freezes for about 1 second, so that all the pixels are reset to zero, or how to say, calibrated again, so that you don't lose the contrast and the optical performance while you're using the device. The display on this side is AMOLED, and it features 1024 by 768 pixels, and it works all the way down to minus 25 degrees Celsius. This is also a difference to if you compared this device against the key models. So it works at lower temperatures, because the main bottleneck at lower temperatures is usually the display. If we look at the optical specs or specification, it features 4.5 magnification, which can be digitally zoomed all the way to 18. so 4 times. The lens diameter is 30 millimeters. The lens cover also features a magnet so that it is stored here at the strap. Really, really nice small detail, but very, very useful. This is also something that I think only Pulsar is doing. And details, these small details make the use of the device much more enjoyable and nice. So if we look at the other optical specification, the field of view is 12.8 meters at 100 meters and range of detection is around 1300 meters. You have 7 different color modes or color palettes, so you can choose the one you like most. In my experience, most of the people go from hot red. That means that the image is black and white, but those really, really hot objects are red. You do the focusing here on the objective lens, and the focusing is possible from 3 meters all the way to infinity. On the other side, on the eyepiece, you do the diopter compensation so that the screen is always sharp and bright inside. Well, sharp, you just put it in focus. The eyepiece itself is, as you can see, it's not adjustable. So if you're wearing eyeglasses, you have to do it like this. And this is not the optimal solution. I also think this is the only real drawback for Axion, that users with glasses are it's not as comfortable as with Helions. So myself, I wear glasses and I prefer Helion, even though the size, the weight, the optical performance of the Axion is really, really great. But still, I feel better with the Helions, where I don't need to do this with an eyepiece to be able to use it with glasses. Some people still think that this is not a big minus and they prefer the XM because of the size, which is completely understandable. The menu buttons are on top. So a short press of the menu, you come to the basic menu, where you're able to adjust the brightness and contrast. And the longer press of the button gives you the advanced menu, where you can choose the calibration modes, the color palettes, and many other adjustments. You can also connect this device with a cell phone, with a smartphone, and use the StreamVision app, which is still, even today, after 2 years, 3 years, something like that, after 2 years, I think, still one of the best apps in this industry. Check our review of the app, because we do reviews of all similar apps, also from other manufacturers, but I would say Pulsar still has an edge with StreamVision at the moment. Good for them. If I do a short summary, so first of all, let's talk about the differences between this model and the XM30, the previous model. I think majority of people is mostly interested into these differences. First of all, what I would say is that if I would be working for Pulsar, I would definitely change the name. The name, even though the changes are minor, it still it causes a little bit of confusion. What really is new and what's not new. So what's new? The sensor is new. It's just an upgraded version of the previous sensor, so it has a little bit less noise and you get better optical performance. This is the first change. The second change is that the display inside of the eyepiece, or behind the eyepiece, is also new, and it's a little bit physically a little bit bigger. That means that even though it has the same resolution, the diagonal of the sensor, so the size, it's a little bit bigger. And you can notice it, because if you look at all other Axions, when you look through it, the screen or the display is not perceived as big as in Quantums or in Helions. It looks a little bit smaller. But in this model, it is bigger than in all other Axions. So this was the change into the right direction. So a better sensor and a better display. And this is also the reason why the previous XM30 model had a 4.1 starting magnification, and this one has a 4.5 starting magnification. Even though this is on a higher side, I would say, majority of devices of this class have a lower magnification, but still, I don't see it's a big issue. Those who wish to scan the surroundings, I think they will prefer the Helions, but still, when you see the size, the weight of this device and the build quality, it does have its pluses, definitely. So these are the three major changes. Upgraded sensor, different bigger display, and because of the bigger display, a little bit higher magnification. What is also noticeable is the price. The previous XM30 costed a little bit less than 2,000 euros, so 1,990 euros, and this one is 300 euros cheaper. So you get a better device for 300 euros less. And this is something what Pulsar does all the time. So they come out every generation with better devices, with I would say higher quality, better optical performance for lower price. And this is something what makes them so unique and why all the competitors are basically running behind them. Okay, so we went through the differences. Now I want to do a short summary for all those who skipped everything in the video until now. So what I would say, in my opinion, what are the big pluses of this device is definitely the build quality, the battery system, so that you're able to change the battery so quickly, size and weight, and optical performance for all devices under 2,000 euros. So these are all really big pluses. The minuses, or I would say where some improvement could have been done, the eyepiece, use with glasses, it could have been done a little bit different, similar like on Helion, but normally then they would sacrifice the small weight and size, but it would be easier for those who wear glasses, even though I'm not saying that it's impossible to use them with glasses. You just do it like this and you can use them with glasses also. And the second thing what could have been done a little bit different, in my opinion, is the starting magnification. 4.5 is a little bit on the higher side. It works, it's not problematic, but I would still trade wider field of view for this additional magnification. 2.5 and let's say 15 meters on 100 meters of field of view would be a better choice in my opinion, even though this is not a big issue. Still, this build quality, this size and weight, the design itself, the 1 second startup time and so on, makes this device really attractive. It is probably one of the best choices in this, I would say, semi 1,500 euros class on the market, and I'm sure it will stay like this for at least a year or more. So thank you for watching. Please check our other video reviews, especially all others on Axions. And if you have any questions, please use comments below. Thank you.